What's going on, guys? It's going to be a first impressions video on this Ratchet and Clank. I guess it's a remake of the original. Not entirely sure how I'm going to feel about this game. I heard some things about it. I know I'm kind of late to the party. That's what I do. I buy games hella late and get a pretty good price. Because ain't nobody got $90 to spend on a game anymore. Especially if all these remakes and remasters coming out. I believe this is supposed to be the... I can't even say a remake, it's more of a remaster from the ground up of the original game, very first one. I know there's some changes that they've done to it. I think the soundtrack is completely different, which is unfortunate, but we'll see.
Open up on 7. Move it out, Shiv. Oh, yeah. Hero, huh?
Identifying prisoner 117, Shiv, Helix.
You think you can break me, Copper? Yeah, I've been in the darkest pits of the universe. Places that would make your bolts rattle. The eternity pits of Sword Doom. The iron holding no balance.
Greetings, new fish. I'm
Captain Quark. I don't believe it. You're here. I used to dream of being arrested by you.
Now get out of here. I was talking to you, Zed.
Yes, Captain.
So, new fish, I take it you followed my many, many adventures?
Of course I have. You're the most famous superhero in the galaxy.
He ain't famous anymore.
Words hurt, Solitary Bill.
I'm a huge fan. I even pre-ordered
The what?
you know, the game based on that incident with you and that Lombax.
Oh, you must mean the holo film. Yeah, it's pretty good, if you like all CG.
No, I mean the game. It's based on the holo film. Look, here's my confirmation email. I'm having it mag shipped to prison.
They're making a game based on a holo film based on my life? But they haven't even consulted me. Oh, this is my fault. I've been away from my adoring public in this forsaken place too long. And now, no one will ever hear my side. Sit down, wary criminal, and I'll tell you a story. It all started with a hapless Lombax named Ratchet.
Where do you think you're going?
Hey, Grim, you're here. I thought you'd be down at the bazaar shopping for gravity coils.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm here. I'm always here. I don't suppose you sneaking out would have anything to do with those Galactic Ranger tryouts?
I just need 1 hour. Come on, Grim. These are the Galactic Rangers we're talking about. Captain Quark will be there.
No leaving the garage until you help fix Mr. Micron's ship. Now get on that boat crank. Does that ship look mag-lifted to you? Come on, give it a spin.
Very cinematic.
Okay, let's see if these new Versa bulbs work. Look up. Do you see something flashing?
Yep, left side looks good.
It's a miracle.
I don't know if it's the same voice actor from the original games. Probably not.
Lower left afterburner light checks out.
This thing might
If it is, he must have changed his voice quite noticeably.
Lower right afterburner works. So, are we good?
Yep, we're good. The news says the tryouts are being held at the fairgrounds. Show them what you got, kid.
Ratchet began his adventure, hoping to become a galactic ranger.
Rise and shine, Kizzle Plateau. It's 8 a.m. and it's going to be a hot one today. Our first story is a sad one, folks. Last night at approximately 8:13 our time, Planet Titanium fell to what appears to be a Class 7 supernova. President Pyronics has issued a statement calling this a tragic natural disaster. No holes are spectacle. This is the one planet we've lost in the last 3 months. So no wonder.
Graphics certainly look tight. Got that fur engine on point. Let's hope this isn't a shortened game. You'll have many or much experience with the newer games. Pretty much like the ones on the PS3.
His enemies using his trusty Omni-Ray.
I remember playing one. Tools of Destruction, I think.
Ratchet used the warrior's time-honored tradition of jumping.
And that one was like 4 hours long.
Ratchet knew
It was
mortal peril. Should he find himself on the
more or less
verge
the
of
same
death, he'd need to find nanotech.
game with just updated graphics.
I use that stuff after a bank robbery.
Didn't really reinvent anything.
5 gunshots.
It was fun though, don't get me wrong, but 4 hours is way too short, man. Especially for a full price game.
The Lombax displayed a flagrant disregard for public property. Look at him smashing crates. The hubris.
He was just saving up vaults so he could buy a new weapon to protect the galaxy.
Hey, who's telling the story here?
I'm not a fan of this narration. What the fuck is this?
Big Al here. You've just collected your first holo card. You can earn single holo cards by defeating enemies. Or you can explore secret areas to find packs of 3. Your goal is to complete a whole set of holo cards.
Interesting. I guess this is supposed to provide some backstory. Train 5 duplicate cards. Just gotta hope and pray and just wait on INSOMNIAC to find another new hit IP. Supposed to just milking the same one for like 15, 16 games. How many years I've been doing this? It's come full circle now for remake of the first one. Seems they hopped on board with like the first-person shooter craze in like the mid 2000s. And I haven't looked back since. It's unfortunate. It's mostly their popular IPs. Have always had some kind of element of platforming.
Hello, recruit. Cora Barrelux here.
I was not
Show us how
a fan of.
quick you can be on your feet
I mean, it was alright, but I wasn't
these obstacles.
a fan of Infamous.
Now keep moving.
Infamous, sorry, Resistance. Compared to the other games in their series. I think they did Sunset Overdrive.
Good job. You could be the recruit.
I think I did fairly well, but I haven't played it.
Next part of the course.
Hey there, recruits. I'm Brax Lectress, and my specialty is brute force. Let's see how well you can bash these crates. Hey, that was pretty good. Keep moving. It's time to get our hands on some firepower.
This whole tutorial gauntlet really necessary.
Gadgetron vendor.
The new generation of gamers have to be ingrained with this tutorial system.
Next step, blow stuff up.
Gone are the days of the early 90s platformers or early 90s games in general, where you just had to, I mean early 90s, the 80s too. 80s was just brutal, having to figure out stuff on your own. as opposed to literally have it being displayed to you and told to you in a way that isn't very natural.
Evidenced by the large amounts of ammunition left sitting around in crates.
This is supposed to be Ratchet's home planet. If I remember correctly from the first game, it was literally just him on a ship. Then he meets Clank, and he just goes about the world. And if anything, a little tutorial was just like little text boxes on the bottom. The hell? Did not even hit that lava. And that was it. You went around the world just learning as you went. But this, a whole gauntlet area, training area, which I believe there was one that Captain Quark won, like another planet, Metropolis, I think. But to have it on the first planet here just seems so unnatural. Like, why would Ratchet have this gladiator thing here? Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, they might have explained it in the dialogue texts or the annoying voiceovers, which I don't care to.
In order to spice things up, we've armed these dummies with Gadgetron flamethrowers. Our lawyers are totally cool.
I don't care to listen to.
Good job, recruits. You may just be the next Galactic Ranger. Head to the final challenge.
Come on, Ratchet. You can do this.
Galactic Ranger. Oh, I see, this is a trading area. Become the next Quark. But I swear that was on Metropolis originally. I don't remember him being like the biggest Captain Quark fan in the first game. Or maybe he was. I just remember him being very an asshole in the first game. Just always pissed off at Clank. Or Clank being the biggest Quark fan. Of course, the level up system.
Impressive. Looking at Solana's next Galactic Ranger.
Why would they have a training program where a superhero searching gladiator type arena on his whole planet? Whatever gets your remake through, I guess. Apparently this whole entire scene is blocked. Copyright too strong.
hopeless defect knew that his best
Aha,
chance
Warbuff
for
Factory.
survival
I remember this from the first game.
ventilation system. Just run to the vent. He might just make it out of there alive.
I don't recall a actual scene where you have to escape from, or at least one you can play as. It's interesting.
Feeble defect knew that if he were to survive, he would have to throw a bomb at whatever lay in his path. The young defect spotted a spring bot ahead of him and knew that with this handy device in his arsenal, he could now defeat the deadliest of forces, gravity. The hopeless defect had to throw a spring bot, but where and how?
I really hope that the Quark's tutorial, his narration / tutorial, isn't a permanent thing in the game. And I can get annoying really quickly.
There you are.
Oh my.
Shit.
Quit your running, you useless piece of scrap. Get back here and let's settle this. Warbot to Warbot. Oh no, water.
That was a little close for my liking.
Suddenly, the defect spotted a power bot. This device could power up a variety of machines, but where should he throw it?
You're like really good at adding drama, man.
Thank you, Shiv. I pride myself on my penchant for storytelling.
Seems to be the problem, Victor.
You won't get away from me, Chairman. I've got him right where I want him.
The sound effects for both have not changed at all. Huh. I don't think I can't even bring this from up here. As a power bot can do something, probably gets the bridge going. I guess it's glad to see that this isn't a one-for-one remake. Some new stuff added in. How in the hell? Gold bolt. Death. Oh well. I had not the time nor the patience to figure that one out. Or, you know, that can fucking work too, I guess. Could you tell this was my first time playing this? Fucking A. Can't Kobe this. Still doesn't solve this. Perhaps there's a power up you get later in the game you can come back to. Like some kind of power glide or something. Speak for yourself.
You think you can run from me?
Not that route again.
Some Crash Bandicoot style gameplay over here.
Get back here, you miserable defect!
Too bad it's not as fun.
Try outrunning this! I'm gonna rip you apart!
Clank controls
By sprocket.
aren't as smooth. Something I unfortunately wouldn't have liked to stay stagnant throughout the series.
Water! Ah!
Wait, trophies is that in like a span of 24 minutes. And another cutscene. Which can be unfortunate for a stream because this game is very cinematic. Half this stuff's gonna be cut out. You're not missing much though. Just as escape. Providing more interesting backstory for a game that never really needed it. Clank is now landed, or crash landed, on Ratchet's planet. Ratchet now enters the crash landing site and grabs Clank before the entire ship self-destructs. On a very well animated scene. Yeah, no. They're gonna make Ratchet a lot more friendlier in this game. A lot easier to market to kids. Definitely not true to the original story of the first game. Awkward introductions out of the way. And the gameplay's back.
Would it be the key to the adventure he craved? Did he leave the proto-engine on in the garage? The answer to all these questions was yes.
All right, hang on. I'll get us back to the garage.
So far, not having as much fun as I'd hoped. But I am hoping that this tutorial is over soon and I can actually get to having fun. The most of this game, at least for me, most of its enjoyment comes from purchasing of different weapons and gadgets and using them in combat. That's pretty much the whole gameplay, the whole meat and potatoes of this game. So far, I only give you a glove bomb.
Large gaps where child's play to Ratchet. All he would need to get across
And
is
the
a trusty
Ratchet.
slingshot and a little bravado.
Not really. So I totally skipped the slingshot giving scene.
Replaced crate provided Ratchet with a combustor.
And free weapons.
Buster.
Freedom of being able to switch weapons whenever he felt like it.
A welcome change to this.
Perhaps you could shoot something to open the door.
The fact that the first game never had
My sensors indicate there is a switch
that weapon wheel that could
that can be activated
pause the game
with a combustor shot.
until like the second game came out, then they added that in, which was a nice change.
All Ratchet had to do was shoot the target. But he thought long and hard before...
But yeah, the slingshot scene,
Shooting.
for whatever reason, I guess because they made the tutorial area, the beginning area, the... What the hell? Why was there a button prompt for a square on that thing? Is that not slingshots, are you?
Impressive shooting. Nice work.
Why was it square? I don't know. The slingshot that they gave you in the first game came from one of the robots that trained Captain Quark recruits or whatnot. And that was the quote-unquote arena or training area. And that was like, I think, the second or third island. Sorry, planet.
shot would solve his current conundrum.
And after completing that training course, it gives you a slingshot. But for whatever reason in this game, it decided to have the tutorial area very simple jumping mechanics and whatnot. And then in the game, you just randomly have a slingshot from the beginning of the game, which doesn't make too much sense, but what can you do? When you can't find a new IP for how many years? So you go back to recreating this one. I think, at least my impression of this, is that they made this a coincide with their movie. This is more cinematic than anything in the soundtrack. They still have like break beats and all kinds of synthesizers and techno shit to replace it with like this orchestra movie-like soundtrack, which takes away from the original again. That's kind of nitpicky, but something's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality. I'd reckon that if you haven't played a Ratchet and Clank game, especially the first one, and you went to go play this, then it'd be a lot more enjoyable because it was kind of made for you. But if you're somebody who's played the first game and went back to play this, it's kind of got some sort of value for you. You can see kind of like a cinematic backstory and how they probably wanted to do it or how they reimagine it, but at the end of the day, a lot of the nostalgic memories,
The Blarg are all over Grimm's garage. Grimm, are you okay?
it's not there for me.
I'm fine, kid, but I ain't opening up until the coast is clear.
Just hold tight, Grimm. I got this.
Well, Atmosphere 2 is very friendly and
I've got you on the holo vid. There are more enemies moving in.
there's more
Incoming dropship.
NPCs and whatnot introduced in the beginning, where the atmosphere of the first game, it was more you're on your own, kind of sorry, I'm looking for deserted almost in a way. Where there's very few NPC characters you get to interact with. You never really got much of the citizens, especially in this home planet here. Your enemies never spoke with you, which I kind of liked. The darker atmosphere of you just almost on deserted planets and such.
That's really more for educational purposes. It is always good to meet a fellow academic. Really, I just look at the pictures and then, you know...
I'm on autopilot for this one.
Alright, Grim. Coast is clear. Can you open up?
Ratchet, what in Sony's name just exploded?
Sorry about that, Grim. Listen, get my tools ready. I just found something in the desert I need to look at.
Interesting. What kind of factory is this?
This? No, this is just a garage. Lived here since I was a kid. Come on, let's get you fixed up.
More exposition. I thought if I'm playing a game or watching a movie at this point. This plays out like more of a movie. Which I heard, by the way, I think the movie that they came out with wasn't that great. Which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I feel like it's trying a little bit too hard to be funny. They're really gearing this towards younger audiences, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing on their end, because they gotta want a younger generation of people to enjoy their IP that they've stretched out for almost 2 decades.
Maybe there's someone in town who can help us. Wait a second, is that raritanium? Maybe we should upgrade our weapons first.
Really? They also have to tell you about this. Why can't you just... Why is that necessary? Not even just be like, there's a secret over there, I wonder what's over there. They literally have to tell you it's raritanium. Like, we just spoil out everything. Gone are the days of being able to explore that on your own. Like the first game where you just saw a little thing on the side, you wasn't sure. I mean, I guess you kind of have that, some kind of inclination of whether or not that, what the fuck is this? And I can't even skip this either. Fucking A.
You're gonna need raritanium for this stuff, but we'll use some of mine for now. All you gotta do is pick one of them cells. These things chain together. Go ahead and fill out. All right, just
I remember this from
you surrounded a mystery cluster.
one of the later games in the series.
There is to it. Give it a spin and watch.
Interesting change, I guess, but I got time for this shit. What I was getting at is that in the original game, they had these kind of areas out here, which is like side areas, which I guess you could figure out this wasn't part of the main story. So there's 3 different branches. I don't think anybody would get confused as to this being the main part of the story, but it was something different, you know? You come over here and there's like another area of the planet that you have to explore. You can get the raritanium or whatever, golden ball, whatever they decided to put there for you. But just have them just openly say, hey, raritanium, let's go over there. Kind of defeats the purpose. and makes it, yeah, cheapens it really.
What is that? A squirrel?
What the fuck? For real? Just imagine a well-known series or a nostalgia game for you, or a game that you've liked in the past. But there was like some sort of secret area. Yeah, I don't know, like maybe a Mario game. You're like, oh, that's where you get this particular thing. Now just imagine it where you're not a little kid playing the game, exploring the area for the first time, and finding out that that's where a particular item or power-up is, and it's the moment of surprise that you had to just playing the game, having a narrator tell you, oh, that's where this is. Maybe I should go pick that up. Like, what a fucking disappointment. Shit. I vaguely remember this area looking familiar from the first game. This whole entire gameplay is just gonna be me comparing it to the first game, but I mean, really, what else could you do if this is an entire remaster of the first game? And I guess I suppose I could be talking about some of the things I enjoy about this instead of comparing it, but I'll let you know what I find something I actually enjoy about this. Oh, the plumber's back.
I'm glad you're here. Hey, have we met before? 'Cause I'm getting a touch of the old deja vu.
I don't think so.
Huh. Well, guess the old think tank could use a good plumbing.
Oh boy.
I've been trying to get a distress call to the Galactic Rangers ever since Drax's forces showed up.
This entire region is overrun with Blargian dropships. We need to get you out of here.
Well, I can't go anywhere until I get this here info bot into the hands of Captain Quark.
We were on our way to speak with him when our ship was shot down. Perhaps we could take a look.
Well, sure thing. I swapped it from one of those Blarg soldiers. Here you go.
Info box. I
I'm
remember these.
Alonzo Drek, chairman of Drek Industries.
Oh, this voice actor.
Many of you may be wondering, why are 300 heavily armed warbots marching ominously towards a Class G dread ship?
That doesn't look like an evil villain at all, dude.
The answer is simple, friends. Progress. Years ago, we were driven underground by pollution that may or may not, but most definitely was, caused by my father's company. Since then, we've shifted focus from robotics to planet building. Now that our project is nearing completion, we must do everything possible to stay on schedule. In this case, it means our friendly army of warbots must vanquish those who would seek to stop us. Good news? They don't know we're coming! So sit back, relax, and take comfort in the knowledge that Drek Industries is working for you!
Drek Industries is not working for you.
Wow.
See, you're having a little transportation trouble. Why don't I meet you by your ship? We'll get you squared away and ready to fly.
Did that guy just slide down a sewer pipe? Well, it does look like the fastest way down. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, interesting to note is that he mentioned the Galactic Rangers, which I believe in Up Your Arsenal, you actually do become a Galactic Ranger. I think that's what the name was for those Defenders of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think I might recall him mentioning something about Galactic Rangers in the first game, which you were never a part of or knew what they were in the first game. If I'm even recalling that correctly.
That was awesome. Want to do it again?
Oh, looks like Mayor Buckwash is in trouble. We'll fix your shipping and building right now. He needs your help.
Really get the rare titanium you guys mentioned before. Thanks for mentioning it, or else I would have completely missed it. Secret area that may or may not have had something interesting here. Can you not damage anything here? What the fuck? If you want my short review, my short impressions of this game, less than an hour in. Is it a cash grab? Kinda. Will you get your value from this quote-unquote cash grab? Yeah, I could see some merit to it. Definitely, I'd say pick it up. Well, I guess now you can. I would not have paid, having known what this game was about, would not have paid the full price for it. Something you could pick up for like maybe $30, $20. I think it's going for $20 now. I'd say pick it up for the bit of nostalgia, or just to see how they framed the supposed remaster compared to the original. But all that was really in my eyes is a cinematic retelling of the first game with it just marketed to a younger audience with just cheesier and cornier jokes, trying way too hard to be funny. Forced childish humor with unnecessarily dramatic cinematic scenes. Is it juxtaposition or exposition? Just the way they explain things just kind of feels so natural, just to get backstory when there really isn't much backstory you really would want to know. I'm not big into like the Ratchet and Clank community, Ratchet and Clank community, but at least for me, and I wouldn't think others in the community were clamoring for something like maybe a remake or remaster like directly, just because they must have missed the original. But I think anybody was kind of looking for the origin story, the backstory of the first game. It's just, it is what it is, you know. And for whatever reason, wanted to make some money, and this is what they did. So. Burning proton drum. I don't recall this from the first game.
You won't regret it. Enjoy your new proton drum. I think you should upgrade the proton drum.
There's the narrator again telling me what I should and shouldn't do. Freedom of choice does not exist in this game. Or at least free thinking. I can't read that text, it's so small. Duration. Hollow card. Let's do iteration first. And then from there go area effects.
Oh, nice.
Alright. Let's see what this thing can do now.
Whoa, that is a lot of bad guys.
It's a lot of color. Vivid artwork here.
You may have noticed we are in the midst of a small incident.
The hell is this? Oh shit. Oh, that's hella long too. Some good upgrades there. God damn. Side-stepping and strafing in this game is an interesting mechanic. Oh, this all seems familiar from the first game as well. These type of robotic bees, or birds. This whole area. So that's what they did there at the building.
Oh boy, out of ammo.
Was that reference from like one of the newer characters in the series? How they put that into this game? Interesting little cameo. I definitely don't think that this statue was here in the first game. This thing's beast now.
I doubt that's the last of them.
Let's see what a fully upgraded, what's this called? Proton drum is capable of. Oh!
Oh dear, more of them. That must be the mayor's ship.
This is a transmission for the Galactic Rangers. Please, assistance. This is Admiral Buckwash, mayor of the Protector of No Boundaries.
Maybe Galactic Rangers was a thing in the first game. Now it's kind of coming back to me. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe all my criticism was completely misplaced. Regardless, doesn't make any of my arguments less true to me. Uh-oh. Part of me wants to upgrade this gun too, but I think it might be a waste. Just no damage. I'm not sure how I feel about this weapon upgrading in this game. I remember in past games you actually had to rank it up with kills and whatnot. And like after a certain many kills the bar would go up and it would actually change the look of the gun, new abilities, and that was really interesting. I like that kind of system of level up for your guns, but this one here, it's just collect Ratanium and then mod it. It's a bit lackluster compared to the original level up system.
Thank you. I thought we were done for sure.
We are happy to be of assistance. Why is Drek trying to kill you?
It's my nephew, Skid McMarks.
Wait, Skid McMarks, the pro hoverboarder?
He sent me this infobot from Iridia, and the Blarg have been after me ever since.
Here, take a look.
Hey, Uncle Blackwash! Skid McMarks here. You know, your nephew. My agent and I are at the awesome grand opening of the McMarks Sports Shack here on Iridia, and boy, has this been a trip. I've gotten to meet all kinds of people. Fans, celebrities, my Gadgetron sponsors. I even got to sign autographs for these odd-looking creatures called the Blarg. I guess they're doing something here on Iridia. Wait, hold on a second. Hydro harvester, super illegal water displacement apparatus. I don't think I was supposed to have this.
Stop him! He's got the schematics!
Help! Someone, call my agent, call my publicist. Actually, don't call either of those people. Call someone who cares about me. I don't want to die.
Skid McMarx is in trouble.
That's brutal.
But we must first repair our ship.
Oh, you did it! Thanks for saving the sector, friend. Now come on back and we'll see about fixing that ship.
I have to see one cinematic cutscene in this game that didn't make me cringe.
Safe and sound. I was rescued by a furry hero and his robot friend. I will now resume regular office hours, which is every Thursday and
And granted, the first game's kind of story plotline wasn't exactly well fleshed out as well, but it's a lot more. The way it was conveyed was a lot better than whatever they're doing here.
Clank set out to fix their ship with the help of the plumber. Little did they know they would soon come so close to greatness they'd be able to hear its mighty biceps ripple. But first, they'd have to tackle a brain-eating zombie T-Rex.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't recall no brain-eating.
Oh God.
Okay, fine, Killjoy.
Well, you look about all fixed up here. Now promise me you'll get that infobot to Captain Quark.
I promise. Thanks for your help.
No problem. See you in the next reboot.
Oh my God. This plays out like such a corny kid movie. Oh.
Ratchet and Clank were delighted to discover that their newly repaired ship now had an upgraded hyperspace navigation computer.
Oops, did I get this? Case for hidden treasure? Oh, I switch everything here. The whole raritanium spiel in the beginning. What means this? I think you only unlock this after you did the main quest. And the whole swimming mechanic. I don't know if they had it in the previous game, or I think you needed like a upgrade onto Ratchet or on the Clank robot to be able to have that kind of thruster pack for your swimming. I guess they wanted to skip the nonsense of how you got the slingshot and the swimming ability and went straight to the story. The one thing that's really great about this game, one of the very few things, is that just the art style and just the graphics itself, because anybody can slap together some pretty good looking graphics on a game in 2017, but the art style, the colors, I mean the water looks very nice. And I guess this one of the selling points for this game is reimagining what the first game would be like.
Let's pick a new planet.
They're not searches already? What the hell? Search the caves for hidden treasure. That little mission objective came up when I did that. Maybe I just didn't grab the treasure itself. Oh man. What's underwater? That's an enemy. It gives us a chance to explore this nice looking area. I'm pretty sure the mission objective thing came up when I came into here, right? But I think it's raritanium is what they said in the beginning when you first arrived at this planet. But where is it?
Crazy mighty, Ratchet could not breathe underwater.
It's not underwater. Oh well. Not interested enough to have to go through that again.
The computer indicates that there is an important gadget we must retrieve in Iridia.
We better get to Kirwan and warn the Rangers.
One benefit to PS4's broadcasting system is that they're gonna be blocking out some of these cutscenes, so you don't have to see the cringe-inducing animation. Less than an hour in, and I really have like a record scratch sound effect and a old television fading out of what was it? Like those like bars, rainbow bars that come up on your screen where you didn't have a signal. And you pair those two together, it just makes for a terrible cutscene.
It's always good to meet a fan, little dude. I am Clank. This is Ratchet. Your uncle received your infobot and asked us to assist you.
Oh, I was wondering if you got that. My agent and I have been running from those blarg all night. Only we ended up getting separated in the chaos, and I took a gnarly fall getting out of the Skid McMark Sports Shack. Hey, think you dudes can clear out the sand shark so I can get to my ship? Be nice for it if you do.
Whoa, a real McMark's 4000? Consider it done.
Watch out for those sand sharks, bro.
87. I don't recall that many in the first game. Jeez. And this area here, I don't remember them starting you off over here. I think it was more like by the ship. They didn't immediately put you to the Skid McMark cutscene. I think you started off over here. The story would take you, or you would think, to go up here, and then this Skid McMark little side quest you would do later.
Watch out for those sand sharks, bro.
I know it's not an easy thing to do, and I don't think they've done it. I know they did it from the plumber, but a lot of these NPC characters, I guess they couldn't find the original voice actor for, and that's fine. But it's like everyone I've heard so far is so bad. If you can't find someone better, at least get someone that's on par with what. Because even in the first game, it wasn't the greatest voice acting either for some of these characters. I mean, like, I get that it's their first game on the PS2, and they're still trying to get the series or their franchise on its feet. But if you're gonna do this remake or this remaster, and you can't find the original voice actors, get somebody who's capable, more than capable of doing it. Because already the villain, Drake, I think, Drac, the Blarg, has like does not sound like a villain at all. Just like one of the higher pitched voices that you would use for like another NPC, like a nerdy type NPC. And I still, I don't know after how many years as a kid, still remember the original voice actor's voice. Like, that's how good or memorable it was. Where I can compare the two, and it's day and night. This the lower pitched, villainous type-esque voice compared to this newer, lighter pitched, just not menacing at all. It's a shame. You take one look at this game, you know where their focus and time and effort went into, and that is the visuals.
Look up there. That must be Skid's ship.
Jesus. Maybe we could add in dialogue to make this story better. You know, put more backstory, just make it more interesting. They literally put in dialogue, it's just more kid-friendly, cringe-inducing. I would even, it's hard to say right now, but I don't think as a kid I would even enjoy this dialogue.
There are a few sand sharks left.
But hey, it's just my honest opinion. You say there's slight bias because I played the first one, but those last 15 sand sharks. It's like dubstep-esque little techno parts they put into these orchestrated. Definitely miss the old soundtrack.
That was pretty awesome. Thanks for your help. Here's your hoverboard.
Whoa, and it's autographed. To Ratchet and Clank, the chillest dudes I've ever hung out with on a hostile alien planet. Cool.
Will you be able to get home on your own?
I'll be okay, though I don't think I'll be able to compete in the Blackwater City hoverboard competition. Kind of a bummer, dude. Hey, have either of you little dudes seen my agent? I feel kind of bad leaving him out here. He doesn't do well with nature.
I was just about to say, where's the agent? I think there was like an infobot or some kind of video transmission message that had the agent. I think he was introduced to us first in the in the first game. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. But yeah, as far as the music goes, it wouldn't have been so much of a shame if they just had some very generic platformer-esque type soundtrack, but because it was such a great soundtrack, especially a change of pace in that era, with all the I read the words to describe the type of techno tracks that they had. Break beats, I believe. That was really refreshing and interesting sounds that they used compared to just this cinematic movie type orchestratic soundtrack with a few dubstep-esque wub-wubs in there to keep it fresh for the younger players. It seems like an upgrade of the proton drum some more. I think these open up after you pass a certain part in the story, just to keep you from being overpowered. But so far, this is just providing 12% increase in the drop rate of holo cards, which is I'm not sure how I feel about that either. This new addition to the game. Duration definitely useful for this weapon. Area effect also is useful, but I would argue that duration is a lot stronger for this weapon. I'm excited to see what else these upgrades will go into.
Attention, future consumer. While the Skid McMark Sports Shack appreciates your enthusiasm, you are now trespassing in a restricted area. Please vacate
Enemies
the construction site.
all look the same pretty much. Sound of this Sandhawks, I think is what they're called. The robots. Glad to see they didn't try to change the formula on these characters.
Uh-oh, reinforcements. That's the last of them.
That was impressive.
Attention, future consumer. We thank you for your interest in the Skid McMark Sports Shack. However, your refusal to leave has forced us to activate the Constructobots. Have a nice day.
How's that hold?
Sensors are picking up a strange energy signature near the swing shot target. I believe it may be a gadget from Trek Industries.
All right, let's have...
So this continues to the agent. And this is for the gadget. I need one to the gadget first, obviously. Oh my god, the dialogue just keeps getting better and better. Dumbed down a few more stereotypes. The character itself is a huge stereotype of like surfers and boarders. But just to add more dialogue to reinforce such a shitty stereotype. Oh my god. No way, dude. Gnarly. Come pick up your snowboard, dude. Oh no! No! It actually uses the word tubular too. So tubular. Gnarly, dude. Awesome. Pick up your board here, bruh. Oh god, it never stops. Jesus. Who wrote this dialogue, dude? Convince some developer to just let their son grab a pen. And like 10-year-old sons come up with backstory for Skid McMarks. INSOMNIAC, where did you go wrong? The irony of them not wanting to continue the Spyro franchise, he couldn't hold a gun, in the words of Ted Price. But they made Ratchet and Clank go on for how many years? Just milking them.
Designed by Dr. Nefarious, this ingenious device promised to move water from one place to the other.
Some SpongeBob water physics there.
Just a push of a button, the duo could now fill an entire
Wrong button.
swimming pool. Originally designed to unclog Valkyrie toilets, Ratchet would find the hydro displacer invaluable in navigating the sewers of the galaxy.
Interesting. What did the C2? One quick thing. Remember the original games, they added some kind of, like when you had this gadget full, it'd be like almost leaking out liquid. You can't even see it. And you can't equip it. I wanted to check this out. Gadgets. I don't know why they took that out. In the original game, they added some kind of effect to it where it was so full of water that it was actually leaking out a bit, like trying to spray out. It's interesting that a game that's so visually impressive, they decided to remove that kind of effect on it. RIP. Hey.
They keep coming.
This gun is so weak, man. Even in the first game, it wasn't that bad.
The finest selection of hoverboards.
It's like 6 shots to kill somebody.
Will not be in stock until next fall. The only thing waiting for you here is death.
As you know, I'm a totally stereotypical dude. Yeah, man. As you know, my character is completely... What the fuck is this? Damage enemies increase weapon level. Aha, so they still do have the level up system in this. And that modding system wasn't the level up system. It was just putting in mods. Interesting. They changed the look of the gun though? Thought I did not pay attention. See? Because in the original games, what would happen is it would be almost like a Pokemon style-esque, like when your Pokemon evolved, they have like that screen come up and kind of have a flashing, a silhouette. It would do that to your gun and make it so, oops, you would actually see the visual transformation of your gun. I think it's up to like 5 levels, and like by the 5th level, your gun looked totally badass. My knowledge in the Ratchet and Clank series isn't the greatest. Well, I like the series. I wasn't like a huge mega fan of it, so, and I haven't played the original games in years, so I couldn't tell you every single thing. Now, if I did a live stream on, say, the Insane trilogy, then I could tell you a shit ton about it. I was a really big fan. Still am. Especially now with the remake, a big fan of Crash Bandicoot. And I think that the guys at Vicarious Visions did a really good job. And it was a pretty difficult community to deal with on Reddit and whatnot. Not even just Reddit, just the whole thing on YouTube, where they would just nitpick a few things here and there and just blow it out of proportion. Like, this has to be like this, it has to be like this. But I feel like they did a really good job. And it's coming from me, who's a real stickler on that type of stuff. Like, they did a superb job. The controls on it, though, this way that they decided to have it universally the same kind of control scheme, and the way that they changed it for the new physics engine that they have, and the way that games are done now, where they put rounded edges on the platform so you can slip off and stuff, was, in my opinion, one of the flaws or the weakest point for the game. But like visually, sound effects wise, I know there's a couple of things that dialogue that they removed, like the dingle dial cutscene, or not the cutscene, the dingle dial bit of dialogue at the end when you defeat him. They didn't put that in the game for whatever reason. That kind of cheesed me. But as far as like the voice acting was superb. I like the Lux Link's take on Cortex. So it wasn't even just him trying to act. like his form of Neocortex. They had to do it side by side, old scenes with him doing the Clancy Brown voice. And I'm just gonna start talking over these cinematic cutscenes because they're so bad. They're not worth listening to.
I'd go meet up with them, but this place is crawling with sand sharks. Think you can help me out?
Jeez.
Nothing to fear, sir. The sand sharks have been dealt with.
But yeah, the original voice actors for the voice actors for Insane Trilogy, they had gotten the original scenes of the original game, and they brought them to the voice actors, and they played it, and the voice actor had to kind of mimic it and follow through with it. And they, you can even see videos on YouTube of it, or where the people have taken the original scenes and the new scenes and put them side by side, and the cadence, the way it was delivered, and almost the voice to it to a certain extent, it was pretty much on point for all of them. I liked the new Aku voice, it was pretty good. I think I had a problem with Uka's voice. Didn't like how that came out, and that was probably like the weakest one they put in, but like the rest of the characters, just, it was a really good game. Like I had pretty much next to no complaints on on how they did it. Like they kept true form for the original game, and they please a lot of die-hard original fans with what they did. So if Vicarious Visions were to do another remake or remaster, I'd have faith in their ability to create one that's in the image of the original and as well received by fans of the originals.
And take a shot at the most extreme sporting event in the galaxy. Try not to die.
Wow, we just saved a celebrity. I want to check out the hoverboard competition.
So do I.
We should head back to the ship.
Conflicting opinions here. I remember how to get to the hoverboard competition. I think it's on another planet. For some reason I thought it was on here. But I think we're done with everything on this planet.
Which planet should we go to?
Yep.
I believe Planet
Nice.
Rogar would be a good choice.
Is there no optional quests here? Interesting. I think this is to further their story. You can do some of the side stuff now. It's just the way I do these games. Or any game really. Skyrim, anything with like a lot of side quests. I like to get them out of the way first. So I think if you just did like the Skyrim main quest, you can beat the game in like an atrocious, like, I don't want to say 40 minutes, but a real short amount of time. Like I didn't for the main quest in Skyrim for like hours, just because I was too busy having fun with all the other side quests and areas to explore. Same thing with Fallout games. Spend most of my time scavenging stuff and exploring later. As far as the Fallout 4 game goes, I mean, there's only so many Fallout games you can make, which is a post-apocalyptic wastelands. Like, they have to do something different. Like, an actual nuclear winter or something like that. Like, if you go to... I'd say go to Russia and stuff and have, like, totally change of landscape or just frozen kind of nuclear wasteland, but, I mean... You could argue that Metro 2033 already exists, so why do that? I don't know. I think it's hard to reinvent the wheel now for the Fallout games.
Contain and exterminate all unauthorized organisms. Rodent type organism detected. Exterminate.
There's no damage increase mod on this. I guess the damage increases come from the level ups. An ammo capacity 2 would be nice. Only having 4 is kind of a bummer. As far as the controls go, compared to the originals, it's pretty much exactly the same. Clank still controls like a clunky robot. Ratchet still has his not the smoothest, but then again in the original games he wasn't ever that smooth to begin with either. Is there a way to change sensitivity from my camera angles? It is way too slow. Auto aim. Really? That's unfortunate. New card pack. This is from one of the newer series. They're probably gonna put a cameo appearance for her in there. I'm not sure how I feel about that when they're putting stuff from the new games into this old remaster. Can't wait till they get to the Metropolis area. I believe that's what it's called. See their take on that, because I can only imagine if these visuals, how great that would look. The devastating weapon. Just let the weapon do the work for me. That's supposed to be the main villain of the game, or just one of the blargs on a bike with some lipstick kisses on there. Interesting. Ah, yes, enemy interaction. This was somewhat of a first in the early 2000s, like that era, which I always thought was cool as a kid. Seeing two different enemy types go at it. Same thing of Half-Life, the Combine and the, at least in Half-Life 2, the Combine and like the Wildlife, I guess. No, Half-Life 1, I think they did it too with the, yeah they did, with the military, like the army and the head crabs and whatnot. Which in its coding form or video game terms isn't that hard of a thing to do. It's just to set the enemy or NPC to be aggressive or to attack other NPCs and whatnot, but at the time it was something new back then.
Attention residents of Blackwater City. In lieu of a security team, we've released a whole mess of exterminabots into the city. We've also dispatched a few automated tanks.
Close range arm cannon.
The onboard AI doesn't let them distinguish between trespassers and locals, so
it's a frost cannon
stay indoors.
type thing. No. These are all new weapons. Like I don't recall a pixelator or pixelizer, which should be fun to turn them into 8-bit characters. I'll save up for this one just to see what it does. Dance parties, Groovatron. Like a processor was a staple way back when. That's the original gun for sure. And the what's it called? The combustor was original. But there's some new weapons here. I remember this too. This little security area. This is where you can get the rhino. Check my rhino for your robot. Or that like a stereotypical black gangster voice. That's your arms dealer in the game. I wonder what his voice actor's gonna sound like. It's not hard if we get 15k balls at the end of this. My goodness.
Talk about heavy artillery.
The tanks all look similar too. Oops. Why hasn't my freaking... Oh, it has level 2. I was gonna say, this thing's gotta level up. How many enemy kills I've gotten so far with this thing? Oh, no, levels up, but it gives you ammo back.
I doubt that's the last of them.
Nice. I don't recall the original game having those kind of effects when you damage the tank. Nice touch. Is he not here? I believe this was the area for that the guy that sells you the rhino. For like an atrocious amount of balls that you can never get early game. It's literally a gun you get end game, like the very end, and even then I'd have to save up a lot of balls for it. It was like 1 million or something. It was an atrocious amount, and he'd be like right here. I guess they don't have him here now. Guess they're not selling no rhino in this game.
Nice.
Vermin sighted. Exterminate.
This is gonna take me through the story. I'd like to know what's up here. So I don't recall this from the first game either. Oh, is that Raritanium? Did not even recognize it. Oh, it's it. It's just a shortcut to get back up here. Rip. The lighting and shading also very well done in this game. But again, that's... You get ready to tell that by now. I don't have to tell you that. Aren't they aggroing me? Can I reshoot them up here?
Oh boy. Out of ammo.
Oh dear, more of them.
I'd be so useful right now if I had ammo for that. The slimes also very well done. Stay true to the original game. The sound effects are a lot different. I remember before you kill them, go slime. Like they had like a really kind of annoyish voice every time you finish them off. Sound effects of the game also very nice. The soundtrack itself is but just the picking up the bullets very similar to the original. Probably like exactly the same, just redone. When your feet hit the metal platforms or anything metal, got a sense of weight to it. Very nice as well. Ah yes, I remember this area from the original game. To walk correctly too, you can walk up these thin platforms. Ugh. Good time to use this weapon. Just need to get a power increase on that thing, or the amount of times that it emits waves per second would be a nice increase as well. Duration on it's great right now. Almost at the 15k mark. Our next garage hunt vendor will pick that up. That pixelizer. If I recall correctly, there should be a button in this room. Yes, there is. And that'll let us go. The way to get there is to scale these tops of these walls. Now how to get there on top of it in the first place, I'll have to try to remember. I'm sure there's a way to get up there. Nice. Only one of these though.
At this moment, our hero found out he was completely hosed.
Okay. Oh crap. The pulse rifle, I guess, is like the sniper rifle in this game. Looks like I picked these guys off from longer distances. Uh-oh. That little heroic and victory theme at the end. This guy just chilling. Aha. Alright. And there you go, our first gold bolt. It's like one of the very few ones I remember how to get.
Finds his very first gold bolt. Let's savor the moment. Okay, enough savoring. Moving on.
The extras in the first game I think involved skins, different costumes you guys would wear, like big head mode, small head mode, classic video game stuff. Wonder what they did with this. Game speed. Interesting. Infinite ammo cheat and invincibility. You'd have to beat the entire game, at least I would think, to get all 28 bullets to get invincibility. Near the all the game to get infinite ammo. This is, I guess, just like for a new game plus or whatever. Come back to play it again. These would not be useful for the first playthrough ever again. Game speed though was interesting. Probably slow or speed it down by like half. Image galleries. It's kind of expensive for just images, right? That's what I'm talking about. These are the ones in the first game where it's just cosmetic changes. Ranger ship paint, armor paint, filters, the way the bolts look, head mask. Dan Johnson. INSOMNIAC always has to find a way to put in a Dan Johnson Easter egg, or yeah, I wouldn't even say cameo, Easter egg appearance in every one of their games. And in the original Spyro 2 game, they put his face on like one of the coins in a fountain. I believe Dan Johnson's face is like on a poster on Spyro as well. I'd be surprised they put more posters of him around this game. I think it was in another Ratchet and Clank game they had posters of him up as like wanted and stuff. I kind of want to get 25 bullets just to see what his head would look like on Ratchet. Yeah, but the Dan Johnson one is definitely a new addition to this game. I believe the Snagglebees, T-Rex, those are the same from the first game. Yeah, it's gonna be a while till we can get anything good from the extras. If I'm even collecting these bullets, we'll see.
Ratchet and Clank. The race is back on, so stay tuned for updates.
See, small little dialogue additions like that actually improve the experience, as opposed to just putting in really bad dialogue. It's unnecessary. Like, if it was good unnecessary dialogue, that'd be different. At least it's got some merit to it, but... Or vice versa, if it was necessary but really bad dialogue, well, at least there's some point to it. But if you're just gonna put bad, unnecessary dialogue that just takes away from the game. Like, why even bother?
Hey, I'm Starlene. Are you here for the race?
You know.
Remember this character from the original game?
Enthusiasm. I like it. All right, head inside. The first race starts in a few minutes.
Interesting thing about that character is in the original game, they had some, it was like an Easter egg kind of, it wasn't a glitch. They might have tried to pawn it off as a glitch when questioned, but in the original game, it was kind of like an Easter egg where, like if you did like these side jumps, like the strafe jumps, like how many in a row, it would increase to your breast size. And in turn, with the jiggle physics, it just made for a really interesting Easter egg, if you're into that kind of shit, I guess. And imagine just being a little kid playing that game, and like, who even finds that out or figures that out? Oops. Oh wow, the clutch. Yeah, these are, I think it's all entirely new track and method of racing entirely with these boosts, the way they're given and earned. I swear you have to do tricks to get your boost. No, I guess you get them off boost pass and crates too now, and these bolts. These rings too help as well. Hey! Want some closer, Dan Schneider? Dan Schneider, is that his name? Dan Johnson, Dan Schneider. They were one step closer to the Nickelodeon creator slash creeper, the one that preys on the young up and coming Nickelodeon female stars. Dan Schneider.
Come back anytime. They're always giving away.
It'd be great to get a Dan Schneider skin in this game.
Being sponsored by Gadgetron.
Chester St. Cloud. What the hell are these names?
We can race for the silver cup. Of course,
Oh
we
no.
probably have better things to do.
The internal head monologue sound effect. I think we're supposed to meet Quark here. He has this little trailer. If I remember the game correctly, he has a trailer here. And you have to bribe the bodyguard to let you in, but he's not there. But there's an info ball you pick up, it leads you to another planet. I could have sworn the trailer was around here. But I don't know if the game is similar in the way that they want me to find him in a trailer here. Or they changed up the story entirely for this game.
Hey, wanna race again?
I do want to race again. But I'd like to use the washroom before I do so. I'll be right back. Give me a couple minutes. As my cat comes in and steps all over my stuff. Alrighty, let's do Silver Cup. What was the price for the first one even? Ah, there's tricks in this. They're not even, like, it's so poorly explained. And the buttons are so, not the buttons, but like the what the hell? Why does it stop you? Let's retard. The words on the screen are so small. Well, I guess if you don't land the trick properly, it stops your momentum. Amateur. Boy, I won the bronze cup. Oops. Oh boy. Wow, such a hipster reference in this day and age. Oh, I gotta do a spin and shit too. But yeah, there's no doubt they got this inspiration from their previous game before they made the Ratchet and Clank 1, Spyro 3, when they introduced their skateboard mechanic, and the way that they did boosts too were doing tricks. Stuff like this, these little flips and stuff, give you boosts, and you'd have to do the same thing at the races, win a race. There was also like skill competitions to get as many points as you can by landing tricks. Well, I clutched at the last second.
Enjoy your prize. You earned it.
I don't know, my prize is just a bunch of bolts. I didn't even tell you how many bolts you win. Oh, it just showed up there, I didn't get to see it.
Qualified for the gold cup. So tempting.
This one I might fail at. But now I know how to actually do the boost system properly, so. Oops. Wow, they just littered the map with these explosive crates. Woo! I think I enjoyed this map and racing experience in this game than I did the original. Definitely increased game graphics in the game engine. In this, you can actually feel the velocity and the speed of Ratchet. Makes for a much more action-orientated minigame. How am I still only in third? Oh no. Oh, that was close. I was underdog. Oh no! Oh. Oh. I don't know how many bullets you just earn from breaking crates in this, as opposed to just actually winning the cup and getting them. Oh shit! Was that at the finish line? Uh oh. Oh, it was right there. Jeez. Holy wowzers!
Think about going pro.
Was it not already after winning 3 cups in a row? Oh, the prize was a card? I guess I should probably open these now. Hey, that's the gun I was talking about. The Rhino 2 though, I don't think the original one was just called the Rhino. First Rhino card to switch between your normal. Maybe this is the way to get the Rhino unlocked. You gotta collect all of them. Like normal, you cannot trade for Rhino cards, and they do not give you any bonuses for completing sets. Aha! This is the way to get it. It's not upgrade because it's too powerful already. Yep, the Rhino 2 is the second version of it, and it appeared in the sequel Going Commando. Or no, maybe this they just mean it's the second card in the series, and that's still the original Rhino. It's just appeared in the second game, first game, and maybe third. But I doubt you can collect these cards just by killing enemies. You gotta have to win challenges and whatnot on this. Boy, I don't want a porositor. Get a pixelizer. Taxi cab that brings you back to the beginning of the map.
Wanna race again?
Nah, I'm good. Got enough bolts. More than enough bolts now. Where's that Kedutron vendor though? Secret area. We came from there, so that means the only way to get out is here.
Hey, kid, you got some hoverboard skills. I could use someone like you. Come see me and let's talk business. I ain't saying where I am, but the sewers under this here city, yeah, they're pretty interesting, don't you?
I kind of sound like the Rhino guy too, but I doubt it's him. I'd like to, but I don't think. Oh, I can. Nice. Hey, it's casing mods. Oh, I could put a second one down now. Very nice. Awesome. And the area of the effect got larger. Duration went up. Perfect. And now you can buy the pixelizer.
Oh, I just might make my quota this week. Have fun with your new pixelizer.
I like to test this out on one of the enemies. Oh, what the hell? That's a pretty widespread.
What's down here?
Make these fishes start flopping around. What the heck? Not this pixelizer. That's pretty interesting. Guess this game auto saves. Alrighty. That has been my first impressions of Ratchet and Clank, the PS4 remaster slash remake, whatever you want to call it. In short, great visuals, taking a cinematic viewpoint, cinematic turn on this game. Its dialogue has gotten worse, and the gameplay more or less the same. Not worth the full amount of money you'd pay when this game came out. It's probably like 60 to 90, I don't know how many dollars the game has come out now. Expensive. But I'd say for 30, I think it's going for $20 now. It's definitely worth a pickup. Try it out. I think fans of the original series, first couple games and whatnot, would not enjoy this as much as somebody who's never played a Ratchet and Clank game, at least the first one. If this is the first experience of Ratchet and Clank, I think this would be a lot more suited towards for you, or a younger audience like this game was crafted to be made for. Like that made any sense. Alright, thanks for watching, I guess.